Diamond Matter channel, welcome. Right, today in this video I'm gonna be doing square holes, square back holes, but I haven't done this in years yet and I knew I would need practice. I seem to remember I used to be quite good at it, but I haven't done it for literally years, so I knew I wouldn't be happy with what I've done today, and yeah, looking at it, I'm very average at completing it. But it's a really old-fashioned thing, yeah. I used to see it, not necessarily all the time, but I used to see it relatively often on antique and second-hand pieces I used to work on, like the sort of first 10 years of my career. I don't see it anymore. It's too time-consuming, it's too troublesome. Business rates and stuff, and all tax and stuff, it's so difficult to make money as it is. No jeweler, no employer is gonna pay a day's wage to have little square holes nicely at the back, and it's quite a skillful thing to do, and just minor mistakes can make the whole thing look horrible. So it's just cheaper and easier, more likely to get a nice neat result if you just go for round holes behind stones. So that's all you see nowadays. So I remember I used to be kind of good because I used to practice these a lot when I was training up to, I used to do competitions going through college, and I ended up competing to represent England in a World Skill Olympics. So I used to practice back holes a lot of sort of shapes for saw piercing behind stones. Since then, I haven't really done it. But yeah, I used to be good, but I knew it's been a long time, so I felt like I'd be a bit rusty at it. But looking at what I've done just now, I'm terrible at it. I'm really below average, so I need practice. So this video is I'm gonna show you what I'm doing. I'll tell you what I feel right now, what takes you to a kind of good result. Get into it after. Thank you to new patrons. Got a few. We've got Dirk, D-R-R-K, thank you very much. William, struggle with his name, Rodriguez, and Victoria Skillman. Skillman's a cool name. Good in the jewellery trade. You'll get a job anywhere with that name. Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Enjoy. Thank you to all the patrons. I really appreciate all the patrons. And a few people are joining as contributors as well. It's $3 or $4, I think, a month. You can make, if you want to just throw me a bone, you can just do a custom pledge, just $1, $2, whatever you want, and you're not sort of tied into monthly contract. But it's not like a subscription we can't get out of. You can just, people come and go all the time. It's fine. I just appreciate their contributions. So anyway, yeah, this channel is possible with the patrons. It's patron.com/Diamond Matter, link in description. Okay, let's get into it. So I'll show you what I did. I milled this out, drilled some holes, made like a kind of grid, my dividers, and yeah, cut those out. Just doing it by eye, and then what I do is I cut them out best I can by eye, and then I loop it, see where it needs improving. Again, try and improve it by eye and see where we get. I'll show you what. Not great. I had a quick go at the backs there to neaten them off. Those ones are untouched on the back. That's what they look like. That is kind of normal. But yeah, just by eye, cutting these out. And they're a little bit small as well. And this is easier than around the back of a ring, because you've got that curvature. And obviously in a ring, you can't just move the saw blade wherever you want. This has made it as easy as possible for myself, just to go through the motions of cutting the squares again. So I'll do one now. I'll just record myself doing one by eye, and then I'll talk about what I do to try and achieve it kind of being good, because you don't just cut a wonky shape and then try and square it off. I try and create a square and then open it up as a square as well. Okay, so this is a cut 440 saw blade, I think, Velour. I think 4 is good because it's quite lightweight. It's thin, but not too easy to break. It's got the thickness where it cuts really well. It's a good sort of in the middle, all-purpose job saw blade. So what I do is thread it through, obviously. Let me show it up close. Alright, got a good angle here, so I'm showing you what I'm doing. Threaded that through the hole, basically. What I do is I'll chop parallel. 1, 2, maybe I'll do a drawing in a sec. Yeah, 1, 2, then go back the other way. Then I'll turn it 90 degrees. I sort of do that. See what I mean? I'm like opening up a square. My old fault was I used to keep the hole too small. You can open them up quite a lot. So that's a really rough, horrible square now. But from that, aim straight for one corner. Aim straight for the other corner. Cut that out. I've got a bit of an angle on the blade now, and then just try and go across like that. I'm a bit scratchy, and all the angles are all over the place. But once I've basically got it the size I want and the shape, then I neaten it off. But anyway, I'll show you as I progress. I'm just going to shut up and do this now. Just working with my eyes. No magnification, I mean. Good practice if you want to do this, you want to get good with your saw blade. Just bang out a load of square holes. Even if you're not planning on doing squares, you will just gain good control with your saw blade. It will come in helpful in other instances. So the first 6 I'd already done, the 7th one down now is what I just cut. Hang on, let me do this right. So yeah, it looked kind of okay by eye, but when you loop it, you can see you haven't gone right into that bottom right corner, not really straight around it, so it needs a lot of work. And then looking at the back's like that. So what I would do is, if I had to do, like, say these 6 or 9 or whatever together, I'd just leave them like that until they're all that sort of stage. I'd be happy with that side. Cutting it for stones, remember, so stones would sit in it, and then I'd worry about the back. You probably shouldn't worry too much about the top. If a square stone's going in that, the square stone's got to go down at the correct height and then sort of be stable, not rocking about. So it's got to sit horizontally at the right height. It doesn't really matter what it looks like too much. It's only the back is probably more important. So yeah, so I'm talking about worrying about the top. Now I'm saying don't worry too much about it. You're just making it specific to a stone, but the back has got to look nice because that's what people will see. So I'm just going to do another one on camera. I just remembered I got these. These have been really helpful a few times. Not something I ever had before. Yeah, magnification. These are 1.5 times magnification. I saw it written somewhere. Yeah, good. A patron bought me these. Thank you, Angie. You've been really helpful a few times. I do like them. They've been really helpful, but if I wear them too long, they hurt my nose. And then also, if I'm moving my head around, I get kind of nauseous because the focus is doing things that my eyes are not expecting. Don't know. Anyway, I've got to be careful how much I wear them. So I'm just going to cut one out wearing these, see what the difference is. I'm expecting it to be a bit easier. I'll just chop this one out on camera. No editing. I might just stop occasionally and check the camera's alright. Chopping out my little square out the middle. Now I go to the corners. Corner of my square to the corner, the outer edge where we're cutting to. Do that 2 corners. Then I'll skim it out. There you go. Not trying to finish 100%, just basically increasing the size of the square. Do the same on that one. If you're breaking saw blades a lot, it's probably because you're moving its position without moving it. If you keep that saw in motion goes, it helps you stop breaking it. Because if you're putting pressure on it and it's trying to twist too much, you'll feel it because it will just grip. You keep it loose. If it's always loose when you're trying to move it up and down, it means it's not catching or being put under stress it can't handle. Technique you might not know about. Rather than pushing it down on the peg, push it up underneath. Helps you out sometimes. Oh, this is much easier with these goggles on. You can really go right up to the edge. Starting to get a bit nauseous. I'm really not very good at wearing these goggles. Oh, take them off. That's it. That's all I can take. Oh wow, yeah. Going back to my eyes, they are really helpful. I can't handle wearing them for a long time. Open the window. All hot and sicky feeling. Okay, feel a bit better now. Another problem with those magnifying optivisor things, now I've taken them off, my eyes don't focus as nicely as they did before. I feel like my eyes have gone all blurry. Anyway, so I'm doing this by eye, and then I might put those optivisors back on for the short time it takes to go around them and sort of line up all the corners nicely. So this is taking me a while, not hours and hours, but tens of minutes maybe, just for these small amount of holes. And I'm working fast compared to what I would be if I was doing something on customers' jewellery or to gold and platinum it's spent a fortune on. You've got to be really careful. A mistake is such bad news. And now it wouldn't matter if I accidentally put a nick in it or something, like going off the corner. Wouldn't matter at all. It's just a bit of silver. I'm on my own practicing. It's not making of anything of any value, or nothing that a customer's expecting to collect at the weekend or something. Something I don't miss about being a professional jeweller is the pressure of deadlines and even just handling expensive stones. It's quite stressful. Okay, working quickly with the cut 440 saw blade. Gotten to that stage, which I'm aware is not perfect, but it is completing, getting them all kind of similarly spaced and kind of similarly square. So now I'll take it to the next level. How should I do that? I might put the magnifiers back on and then go to the 60 blade. We should sharpen it right up then. Okay, these are good. This is good. It's helpful. I wish I could just wear them more. So yeah, smoothing out the scratchy looking saw blade marks of the more coarse blade, and I can sharpen out the corners. So it does take you to the next level having this finer saw blade. Okay, so I've got it to this stage now. It's at a level where another jeweller might look at that and think, yeah, it's alright, but it's not excellent. Still a bit wibbly wobbly. So I could spend, like, if I slow down, I'm working quickly, yes, I want to do this video, but if I slow down, I could neaten it up a bit more, 10-15% more if I took my time. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to start experimenting with needle files just so we can find out what's what. So needle files, I think anyone would naturally think of getting a square needle file and putting it in there. But if you just push that in, you might have one twisted slightly that way, one slightly that way. You start misaligning your corners, depends on how well you've filed them out. So I would say do a bit of this. Just work on that corner, slide it across, going on that corner now, and then going up. And then keep an eye on my needle file, making sure I'm not turning it at all. And where these are not aligned, you might want to, one might not be square, might be rectangle. You can open them up a little bit. Also, you can cheat. Rather than just going straight through, you can start pulling one side out rather than trying to get the whole hole actually across. You can just sort of cheat and get that edge that we're looking at across, which this one needs to do a little bit. Okay, I got it now. Magnification goggles. It puts in front of you and you work like this, not down, work across, and I do one corner at a time. And that seems to work nicely. You can pull them about. Like I said, sometimes they're a bit rectangle rather than square compared to the one next to it. You can just pull them about a little bit and you can really line things up nicely. So this is good. This is taking it a little bit more accurate again. But it is quite coarse, this file. If you can get a new one that's like a really nice, got nice sharp corners. What's this? 1 FDIC 1. That's an FDIC 1, whatever that means. Cool. Okay, so it's coming up to as good as I think I can get it for this video. You can always spend more time doing things better and better, but there's a balance of getting on with the job as well. I've got all the corners reasonably good, I'm sort of pushing this in further so it sort of locks in. You can't start them off like that. You've got to do most of the work with the saw blade and then the files into the corners, and when they're all kind of square you can start pushing it in a little bit more, and it just helps line up the corners and make them properly square. So with my bare eyes, that looks quite good from a distance. When you magnify it, this is ×2 magnification, you start to see, like, yeah, like you look in between the holes, the metalwork isn't really all parallel, the corners are not really that round. Then you go ×10, and you can really see some wobbles on there. And then you'll probably start to notice the inside edge as well and see, oh, that's all scratchy, or whether it's all like nicely lined up. So that kind of level, that's kind of good. Like, I'm mainly doing this video sort of for my own experience and to show you what goes through my mind when I'm doing it, so you can have a go yourself. I wanted to get it kind of good where I'm sort of happy with it and it's good enough for the video to show you what's possible. But if I was making something, if I was really making something 18 karat gold and platinum, nice diamonds, that was like underneath a cluster head or something, I'd have to do more work on it. I can get it better than that. I can just, looking at it with my bare eyes from here, I can see this side's a bit closer, like the bars in between them don't line up as nice as they could. So it needs more work. And that's what I mean about employers. It's an old-fashioned skill. It's kind of gone for just because of the way modern businesses are. No one really wants to pay you like 2 hours work just for a bit of decoration on the back of a ring. It's yeah, a bit of a lost art. So you'll see it in older pieces. I've seen squares, I've seen heart shapes, I've seen little like crescent moons in a row. Hexagons, quite rare hexagons, are quite difficult to do well. I'm going to have a go to yeah, see what's possible. But yeah, that's square fronts, square backs. Next I'm going to try round fronts, square backs. So it looks round from the front, looks square from the back. It's all done by hand. So I'll show you that in another video. Anyway, that's it. Click like and subscribe. If this was helpful to you, if you're looking to learn this kind of thing, I've got all the answers, maybe. Yeah, click like and subscribe, become a patron, enables me to continue making these videos, and I'm sharing everything I've learned over the previous 20 odd years being a professional jeweller. So yeah, that's all my attitude is. We're all learning together. I'm trying to keep my skills alive and improve myself as well, and encourage you to do the same. So yeah, cool. See you in the next one.